Hey, my name is James Nicholson, and in this video, I'm going to talk about how if you already have a property, how can you release some equity in order to invest in future properties. Now, this channel is all about my investment journey, and I'm going to be sharing behind the scenes on my latest projects. We're currently buying a house through an auction in Doncaster, and so we're going to show you behind the scenes on that property, the renovations, the costs, everything that's involved in that. And you really want to make sure that you join us on this journey. So while you're here, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell. Do comment below. Let me know your thoughts or questions. I'll make video responses to all of those. And like the video, guys. That helps me with YouTube. I'll be honest, it pushes it out to more people. And that's what we want, right? We want to help more people here. So make sure you do that. Now, I'm James Nicholson, as I said. Been in business for 17 years. And I've been an investor for over 20 years now. 23 years. Bought my first property in 1999. And when I was first investing in property, I didn't really understand how people were from one property, buying a property, then being able to invest in multiple properties. And I assumed wrongly at the time that what they were doing was basically buying a house and then saving up or working really hard or running a business to get the second deposit. Little did I know, and I wish I did back then, that that's not really what's happening. What most investors are doing is releasing equity from their existing projects. And you can do that too. And so let's just say, I'll give you some figures on a deal that I'm just doing at the moment to make this hopefully make sense, right? So I've just bought in Doncaster, and I've bought an auction property at £60,000. Now, that property needs a refurb. Next door has just sold for £80,000, and that wasn't in very good condition. 4 doors down has just sold for £100,000. And these are terraced houses. They are identical, right? The only difference is the refurbs have been done on some of them. So the 80 grand wasn't done particularly good. The 100 grand one was done really good. So I know if I do an average job, I can get my house valued at 80. And if I do a really good job, I can get my house valued at 100. Now, what I'm looking to do on this, we bought cash and we're doing the refinance, the refurbishment at the moment. And we expect to get that down to around £10,000, which is pretty good, right? Now, that means that we'll have spent £70,000, and we're going to do it to the 100 grand standard, right? There's not loads to do in this property. It's a 2-bed terrace. We need carpets, we need decorating, a little bit of plaster, and a new kitchen and bathroom, right? It will be a really, really nice job. And so what we're looking to do is increase the value of the house so it is worth around £100,000. Then we're going to go to a mortgage broker, and we're going to get the house valued as close to 100 as we can. And we're going to put it on a buy-to-let mortgage. Now, by putting it on a buy-to-let mortgage, that means that we've got to leave 25% of the value in there as a deposit, right? We don't have to physically pay that deposit, but there's got to be 25% equity in the property at the time of taking the loan. So what that means is if they say the house is worth 100, we've got to leave 25 in, and we can get a loan for £75,000. Now think about that. That gives us contingency, because maybe the work that we do will cost a little more, maybe materials will go up, or maybe we discover some sort of problem along the way, right? And that happens. So if we were to do the work for £70,000, that's the purchase and the refurb, then we will actually get a 75 grand loan, and we'll make £5,000 that we can use on the next project. Plus we've got all our money back, so we can go and do the next deal. So that's one way that you can release equity, by doing that. Now, another way is just over time, and this is how I started out in property. My initial flat that I bought in 1999, I bought for £45,000. The deposit on that was £3,000, which is pretty good. Now, over time, that property went up in value. And a number of years later, I refinanced that property because the property was now worth 100. And I took out of that property £20,000. I used some of it for a new kitchen and bathroom. and I used another part of it to buy a second property, which was a flat in Hastings, right? And so I used that money to buy a second property. Now I had two assets going up in value. And it was around 5 years later, the market did really well. Property went up in value again. And so then I refinanced again. So I went back to the mortgage broker, I refinanced, took out another £25,000. And at that stage, I then bought a house in Hastings, and I started my first property with a house, which was pretty good as well. And so over time, my properties have gone up in value, and then I've gone to a mortgage broker and I've said, look, this has gone up in value. I want to release some equity. On a buy-to-let mortgage, this is very, very simple and straightforward, because they really only look at, one, do you earn 25 grand? Hopefully you do. And if you don't, you need to get a job that you do. Then it's all about the numbers on the property. They're looking at the value, the rent coming in, and that's it. And then they will release 75%, right? Because for them, they've got that security of 25% if the market drops, which really it's not going to drop 25%, but if it did, they've still got like 100% of the asset that they can sell, right? And so what you want to do to be able to release equity is improve the property, or just with time, right? So time will allow you to do that. So you could buy a property for £100,000. You could invest 20,000 doing it up with the goal of getting it revalued at 150. That will allow you to release that extra equity and give you a lot of money back from the deal, if not all of it. So that's our goal here, and that's what we're looking to achieve, is to over time increase the value of the property, which happens, or to improve the property and add value. I've just done this on some flats recently, so I'll quickly tell you how I've done that on 2 flats. So I bought a 1-bedroom flat, and that 1-bedroom flat had a ridiculously large living room. The living room was 45 feet. Just for to give you an idea, most living rooms in flats are 15 feet by 15 feet. This was 45, right? Which is crazy, unheard of. So we turned that flat into a 2-bedroom flat at a cost of £5,000. That increased the value by £50,000, and that was because it was in Surrey, right? So in Surrey, in the south of England, prices can be considerably higher. So we spent a small amount of money to get a huge return, and then we refinanced and pulled out a load more equity to go and do our next deals, which are the deals that I'm sharing with you on this channel. Now, another flat that I bought was a studio flat, big studio room, and we've turned that into a 1-bedroom flat. By doing that, again, that cost £4,000 to do, easier job there. And that property has gone up by tens of thousands of pounds. We're waiting on the valuation at the moment, but we're again refinancing, releasing a big chunk of equity, and that is where we're going to use to go and buy our next deals. And so that's the strategy. Time, number one, or improve the value. Go to a mortgage broker, get a buy-to-let mortgage on it, and release more equity. They really only care about the figures, and when the figures stack up, they will lend you that money, and that will allow you to go and do your next deal and build a portfolio. And this is what people are doing, recycling the money. They're not saving up big deposits over time. They're using equity that's gone up, or they're releasing equity by doing improvements. So that's it. I hope you found this useful. Can you do me a quick favor if you're enjoying these videos? Quickly give me a like on the video. That helps with YouTube, right? So any videos that you enjoy from anyone on YouTube, give them a like, because that pushes it out to more people. Comment below. That also helps with YouTube. Say hi. Say great. Ask any questions. I'll make you a video response on those. And do subscribe to the channel, guys. You want to see these auction purchases. You want to see behind the scenes. This is the channel. I'm going to show you all the deals that I'm doing with full transparency, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. I'm James Nicholson. I can't wait to keep serving you, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye for now.